Mora called the end to this fight with Wilder in the air.
Damn.
Wilder did not hit the canvas, and Mora said, "No, that's it. That's it. KO. He's seen enough."
Yeah.
I mean, the way he went down, Wilder did not continue.
And let me tell you, Wilder was still trying to get up.
No doubt. So many times he looked wild, he looked done. He deserves a big kiss right there. That was a hellacious fight for both men. Both men have a right to be proud of their effort at the highest level. And I hope and I believe Lennox Lewis, Andre Ward, we're going to see respect from the camps now. But you've got to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, it may be war, you may hate each other before the fight, but you resolve everything after the fight, or while the fight's going on, and then you're friends after.
Hey, look, Fury had to dig deep.
I'm hurt.
All through this fight. He went
I'm hurt.
twice. He walked into a right hand, got dropped. And we're going to watch again here as we get into round 11 where it was stopped.
Sad part is I saw this coming. Wilder was so fatigued.
Right hand comes across on the left side of the
He was off his equilibrium.
straight on the chin. And
But that was a hell of a fight.
He was a bit tired. He was tired. So, you know, exhaustion and everything caused
Y'all need to give Wilder his respect. I don't care what nobody say.
After the second fight, he did wonder.
It ain't got nothing to give him his respect. He knocked Fury down twice. Ugh. Don't nobody else want to see him. Don't nobody else want. I don't care what none of y'all say. Don't nobody else in that heavyweight division want to see him. But Tyson Fury's too good. Fury's too good. Fury's too good. I agree, DF. I agree with you.
Here's the Gypsy King. I mean, he had to dig deep tonight as well, fellas. He tried to jump up, but he was able to get up.
I agree with you.
A little,
Wilder didn't match well with Fury. Never did. And I said this a while ago. But this is the only fight, in my opinion, that ever scared me for him. Wilder's. It don't matter in the heavyweight division. That don't matter. Because outside of Fury, who else doing anything? Who else is doing anything in the heavyweight division like Fury? Usyk too small. Wilder knocks Usyk out.
ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 10 seconds in round number 11. He is the winner by way of knockout, and he is still the undefeated WBC.
And I know them two don't like each other, but I know they respect each other in that ring. You show me another fighter in the heavyweight division that'll drop Fury twice, because I don't see it. Because I don't see it. If you think Usyk could beat either one of these guys, you're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. I love his attitude. Wilder know he went out on his shield. I respect it. And we still bomb squad over here. We still bomb squad over here. And as far as I'm concerned, he's still the second best heavyweight in the world. It hurts.
Joshua has lost twice. That man is the king of the heavyweights.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Let's go to the ring. And Bernardo Asuna. Bernardo.
Wilder has heart, reminds me of Cotto when he got robbed and took the beating like a champ. Polk, I'm not surprised. Wilder is ear busted again.
Tyson, first of all, on behalf of boxing fans everywhere, thank you for giving us a trilogy worthy of boxing history. What are you and Deontay made of? Because there was 5 knockdowns, and this fight could have ended at any moment.
Well, like the great John Wayne said, I'm made of pig iron and steel, baby.
Walk me through what got you up twice after you had put him down.
First of all, I just like to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In the mighty name of Jesus, I won this fight tonight again. I give him the glory, he gives me the victory. He made me legs strong. I was down a couple of times. I was hurt. Wilder's strong puncher, and he's a tough man. I was hitting with some big shots, and my Lord and Savior rose me to my feet tonight to give him the glory.
Is there a level of respect now after sharing the ring for a total of 33 rounds?
You know, it was a great fight tonight. It was worthy of any trilogy in the history of the sport. You know,
Yeah, Fury dominates that fight. That fight's not even close. Fury's 6'9", 300. Fury dominates that fight. That's a terrible fight.
Because you know why? Because I beat him 3 times. And it's like, I'm a sportsman. I went over to him to show some love and respect, and he didn't want to give it back. So that's his problem. I'll pray for him, so God will soften his heart. But you know what? I want to thank everybody in this building tonight who came out.
If you think Fury and Usyk's a good fight, boy, I don't know what to tell you.
Every man, woman, and child in the building tonight. Great fight, October 9th, 2021. Will go down in history as a great fight, I hope. Anyway.
He gassed, man. You could tell Wilder fighting with that weight was different for him.
I'm the WBC champ, Ring Magazine champion, and lineal champion. You know what? I gotta say thank you to my trainer, Sugar Hill, because if it wasn't for Sugar at America's home, Detroit's home, I wouldn't have got through that fight tonight. He told me, he said, get your jab working, big dog, and shoot that right hand down the middle. He said, only the big dogs pull out late on in fights. And I said, yes.
I agree with that, but that Usyk fight is a terrible fight. I guarantee you that fight won't happen. If Usyk does beat AJ, they won't fight. That fight won't happen. There's no money in that fight. There's no money in that fight. That fight won't happen.
Came to show support, and thank you to my wife. Thank you, Paris. I love you so much. And yeah, thank you very much again. I don't want to keep going on and on and on. You know, it was very fun tonight to be here. And I got one thing to say. Put on my blue suede shoes, baby. Board at the plane.
Sir, shut up. So what?
When you look down over me, hey, I got a first class ticket, and I'm as high as a guy can be. I was walking in Vegas, I was walking with my feet on the field. I was walking in Vegas, and do I...
Chico! Come here.
He'll be back. The thing is, who gonna rush to fight him though?
Just watch the Paw Patrol movie.
I don't want to watch the Paw Patrol.
Don't worry about it, I'm just trying to end it.
I don't know where to find this movie at.
You just search up Paw Patrol and then it will pop up.
Right.
Because I tried to find it for me and Chico.
Did you find it?
Yes,
I found it and it wouldn't let us watch it. I just like you could press it.
I'm glad you did.
Plus I didn't see it.
Give me a minute, man. Give me a minute.
What?
Chico.
Say yes, sir. Don't say no, huh?
I don't know. Want to watch Paw Patrol?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
Are you on live?
Yeah, I told you that. Just let. Yeah.
No.
What's your problem?
You beat up on live. Chico.
I'm glad all of y'all Tyson Fury fans. But we all knew Wilder wasn't fundamentally sound, and he got as far as he got. So you can say all that fundamental stuff out the window. This ain't welterweights. This ain't even middleweights. We talking heavyweights. You don't need to be fundamentally sound for a heavyweight. Again, show me another fundamentally sound. What's up, CJ? Show me another fundamentally sound heavyweight outside of Fury. I'll wait. Cause I can find flaws in every heavyweight you name. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. I mean, I'm just saying. Damn, the college football world is happy about Bama taking that L, ain't they? I have Wilder's done if he wants to be done. If he don't want to fight no more, but I don't think Wilder's done. The only thing I will say is on who's gonna want to fight him. Who's really gonna want to fight Deontay Wilder? Okay, Muhammad Ali, God rest his soul, it ain't here no more. So again, let me rephrase the question. Name me another current heavyweight that's fundamentally sound, top to bottom. You can't do it. But I'm gonna ride with my dog till the wheels fall off. Exactly. And so if you say he's done, that's why he's done, because there's no benefit in fighting him. He has no belt, and who the hell gonna want to get starched? Nobody's gonna want to get knocked out. So who's gonna fight him? Nobody's gonna fight him. Hell, how y'all paid for Mayweather? Half of y'all paid to see him lose. That's the crazy thing about me when I talk about Deontay Wilder and Floyd Mayweather. I remember Floyd Mayweather in his heyday. Y'all hated him. When I say y'all, I'm speaking in general. So if you wasn't one of the ones, it doesn't pertain to you. But y'all hated Floyd. Y'all called him a runner. Y'all said his fights was boring. No one liked him. Then you got Wilder come out, and he ain't got the skill of Floyd, but he knocks everybody into next week, and we hate on him for his technique. Which one is it? Which one do we like? The brother started fighting when he was 20 years old. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all know the whole story of Deontay Wilder, right? Pretty sure y'all know the story of Deontay. Only reason he got into fighting because he had a daughter with a physical, I think it's called spina bifida, or whatever you call it. And he got into that as a last resort. My brother was unloading beer trucks. That was his job. And he got into boxing with no amateur background, won a bronze medal, bro. He was tired, CJ. Ain't got nothing to do with his trainer. One, he's tired, and two, he's a man of habit, like any fighter. You can't retrain a fighter at 36 years old. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't happen that way. Got nothing to do with his trainer. I don't expect any excuses. Terrence, I'm on my phone. Let me see. I'm on my phone, so I don't know if I can send the link from my phone, Terrence. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see on my phone where it says to share a link like you do on my computer. Or I would drop the link. But I ain't mad. I thought it was a great fight, and I had fun watching it. I'll say that. As far as Wilder goes, again, I don't see anybody. Just answer the questions that I ask. You know, a lot of y'all saying a lot of stuff, and fair points. I would just like to know who would fight him. If you're a heavyweight, who would take the chance? Who would take the chance? Who would take the chance of fighting him? I guess Wilder's best hope is AJ loses the second fight, and maybe we get that fight. That fight won't be as big as it was supposed to be. But maybe you get AJ versus Wilder. And even then, I doubt it. Again, with AJ riding Wilder with no belt. That's what I'm saying, Terrence. Wilder with no belt, no one's going to take the risk. No one's going to fight him. Why would you? Thank you. I agree, Brian. I love the fight. Wilder came out there and showed all guts, all heart, and all power like he's always done. Fury's a better fighter. No, not taking nothing away from Tyson. Tyson's just better. But I always had the hope that Wilder can catch him and end him, you know? And again, when you get outside of Fury, tell me who's the fighter that would risk getting knocked out. Because you know it's coming. No heavyweight moves their head like Tyson Fury. AJ, please don't say AJ, because AJ's a sitting duck. We've seen AJ lose 2 times to guys he was big favorites over. A cruiserweight and a damn fat Mexican. No offense to Mexicans. But let's be real. AJ ain't it. AJ ain't it. Who? Please tell me who. I agree. That punching count was trash. Those guys were hitting each other back and forth. I don't know how you were counting punches for Fury or you weren't counting punches for Wilder. I don't think he ever had COVID, but that's my opinion. Again, I don't think the Fury and Usyk fight ever happens. I think it's a terrible fight for boxing. The best hope is that AJ gets his belts back somehow. AJ and Fury's a big fight, but come on, do we really AJ beating Tyson Fury? Hell no. Hell no. So Fury's the man until Fury decides to call it quits. And Wilder's 35, 36, so Wilder don't have time on his side. Thank you. And if you saw Wilder after the fight, he was in good spirits. Wilder knows he left it out, so I'm all for Wilder tonight. I don't expect any excuses. No excuses tonight. And yeah, Fury had COVID, but doesn't have a negative COVID test, or at least not one that he's willing to show. Okay, whatever. And he had no symptoms. Because he's a boxer. Frank Sanchez, good Cuban fighter. I mean, Ajagba is a poor man's Deontay Wilder, if we're being honest. So it is what it is there. I picked Frank Sanchez in that one. But he's a good Cuban fighter. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. AJ, the Bears. Again, come on. That's all I'm asking y'all. It's easy to pile on Wilder, and I'm going to be the Wilder fanboy tonight, and I'm going to defend him. It's easy to pile on him, and that's cool. But who is outside of Fury is touching D? Who's touching Deontay? So Fury has the heavyweight division by the nuts as far as I'm concerned. And I don't really want to see a fourth fight between the two. The trilogy was great. Ngannou, if he came to boxing, could Ngannou box? I don't know. I don't know about that. It's a different type of work rate. Possibly. Let's say Wilder doesn't call it quits after this fight. And let's say people think he's vulnerable. Let's say people think Wilder's vulnerable, Terrence, and people do line up to fight him. And he works his way back up into top contendership. There's a chance because, again, I don't see nobody beating Fury. I don't see nobody beating him. So if I don't see nobody beating him and Wilder beats everybody else, maybe we get a fourth fight. Maybe we get Pacquiao Marquez, a four-fight trilogy. Maybe. Thank you, Brian. There's no heavyweight that matches with Wilder other than Tyson Fury. You can't coach. Not only is Fury a slick boxer, but, man, you can't coach 6'9", 300 pounds. You can't coach 6'9", 300 pounds. And nobody moves like that, brother. Nobody moves like that. You can't coach 6'9", 300. Fury can fight, man. Fury can fight. It can't take nothing away from Tyson Fury. Even though I don't necessarily like him, he's a steroid user and all that other stuff. At the end of the day, that stuff's in the past. He hasn't popped for steroids recently. You can't do nothing. And even Ali. Let's say you can go back in time and bring Ali back. Fury 6'9", bro. Fury 6'9". What was Ali? 6'3", 220 at his biggest, maybe 230 at his biggest, maybe. Lennox would get Fury, but Lennox is a super heavyweight like Fury, and Lennox is a supreme boxer. I think Lennox could beat Fury. As far as current heavyweights, yeah, I don't see nobody, bro. I don't see nobody. Yeah, Lennox is like 6'6" or something like that. Lennox is a big boy. Lennox was like 6'6", 260. Lennox is a big boy and could move. So Lennox could get it done. Just name me another heavyweight that's putting Fury on the ground twice. Name me one. But I love it. I'm glad boxing is getting the attention it deserves. Would I've loved for Wilder to pull it out, of course, because he's an American, got an American heavyweight. But we'll see. I don't know any young. You got that boy Big Baby Anderson. He looks promising. He's only 21, but he's on the small side of the heavyweights. You feel me? But he's probably the future of American boxing heavyweight, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody holds the belts until Fury retires. His style will win him every fight, no matter his age. So we just, if you're a Wilder fan, tough night. And if you're not, you got a night to brag about it. Fury could likely lose to a lesser known up-and-comer. I would pay for AJ or Wilder in a minute. And I would watch AJ and Fury, no doubt. I swear I don't think that fight happens. Even if Usyk wins the rematch, I don't think that fight happens. They say styles make fights. Those two styles, it'd be a lot of great technical boxing match, but the boxing casuals would not like that fight. And frankly, I don't even know if Fury would take Usyk serious. When I say serious, I mean in the ring, he would respect his boxing ability, but Fury would walk him and try to land big punches on him. If AJ wins, it'll happen. I don't want to see it either. And again, I'm a Wilder fan, but I don't want to see that fight. I just think Fury's got his number, and hey, man, shout out to Florida State. We won it. I was going to do my live on the other channel that I told y'all about, but I decided just I'd stick to it on this one. Just a little instant reaction. Bam. I'm exhausted, like if I was in that fight. Usyk would look like he's trying to chop a tree as big as Fury is. Hrgovic, I'm aware of Hrgovic, but Hrgovic is another big puncher, but he's a little stiff. You feel me? He's a little robotic. He's an easy hit. Again, another young heavyweight, so he could definitely be in the mix as far as up and comers. But again, is Hrgovic beating Fury? Don't think so. Don't think so. I'm with Ardavius. Fury's washing every dude you can name. Fury's too good. Again, and this is the heavyweight division, so there's not a lot of skill. You just got big boys who can punch hard. Man, that was tough. Yeah, Jaw Fury with the 11th round knockout. With the 11th round knockout. So you had Bama. Both Tuscaloosa took L's tonight. Bama took the L to Jimbo of all people. Jimbo, after a 2-game skid, came back and beat Alabama. And almost gave that game away, man. They almost came back. But Bama lost, and the Bronze Bomber lost. POLK, you already knew what was going to happen. I knew it would be tough. That's all I'll say. I knew it would be tough. But, when you're a fan and you believe in someone, you feel me? You think they can get it done, and that's all I got to say. Boy, CJ, you stupid. I'll be interested to see how the heavyweight division goes. Even with that L, in my opinion, Wilder's still the second best guy out there. And like I said, I don't see anybody trying to fight him. So Wilder might retire, and I think he just might retire not because he can't fight or not because he's like devastated or anything. I just don't think. Who's he gonna fight? A bunch of what? We're gonna turn Deontay into a gatekeeper? Who's he gonna fight? What up and comer is gonna take that risk of fighting Deontay Wilder? Throw in Zach Randolph. He's 6'9". That's the problem with the heavyweight division, though. To be real with you, Joe. If you want to be real, that's the problem with the heavyweight division. You have a lot of former basketball players who tore a knee up, or football players who tore knees up, and they go into boxing. And in the heavyweight division, you can be successful in that. The reason Fury has such a huge edge in the heavyweight division is the man's been fighting his whole life. He's a seasoned boxer. Fury is akin to your Errol Spences, your Bud Crawfords, guys that have been fighting since the age of 7 years old. AJ is very similar to Wilder in the sense AJ didn't pick up the sport until late. Wilder didn't pick up the sport until late. You can go down the list of guys that they didn't pick up in the heavyweight division. They didn't pick it up until late. Polk, what's excuses is Wilder? I don't think he's going to have any. That's just my opinion, but we'll see what he says in the days to come. I don't expect any excuses, so to speak. Yeah, he comes from a family of like bare knuckle fighters over there in England, man. Fury was born for this. That's why I got like big baby Jared Anderson is kind of a hope for American heavyweights because he's only 20, 21 years old. He did the amateur thing. I think he was a 2-time amateur national champion. So if you want to look at up-and-coming American heavyweights, that's the guy to keep an eye on. That's the guy to keep an eye on. Wilder, man, only if Wilder had better defense. Well, I'm going to say this. For Wilder is like, and when I say this, I'm not comparing him to these fighters, but if you know where I'm going, you'll understand what I'm saying. Guys like Roy Jones Jr. and even Muhammad Ali, these guys were the most gifted fighters of their generations. But if you go listen to any boxing coach, they'll tell you, I don't put on a Roy Jones Jr. tape or a Muhammad Ali tape and try to teach my fighters because fundamentally, those guys did everything wrong. But they were such supreme athletes that they could overcome those things. And you see both of those two fighters that I just mentioned, as when they got older and the athleticism fell down a little bit. Now, Ali was still a very skilled fighter, but Ali fights very similar defensively the same way a Deontay Wilder fights. Leans back, keeps his chin high. They'll tell you that's not how you play defense. When the athleticism fame gets away from you as you get older, you get more susceptible to punches. What about Gerald? Man, ain't nobody worried about that dude. That dude popped so many steroids, he should never even be allowed to fight again, honestly. But Fury's always been like that for his entire career. If you go back and watch him, his body, that's just his body type. That's just his body type. That's just his body type. Or David says they're unorthodox is what you're trying to say. Not so much even the unorthodox of it. It's just that they're so, like, Ali fought a way that they don't teach. Even in his prime. But in his prime, he got away with Ali fought with his hands down. Instead of putting his hands up defensively, he would lean back because he was so fast, so quick, guys couldn't hit him. As Ali got older, the Larry Holmes fights and the Ken Norton fights, even the George Foreman fight, which he won, when he got older, he wasn't able to slip those punches like he could in his younger days. And some of those fights got exposed. You feel me? So, same thing with Roy Jones. So, that's all I'm saying with Deontay. As he's gotten older, you saw it in this fight. He just tried to lean out of the way of punches. But Fury's got an 80-inch arm advantage. Fury's got length and all of that stuff that, Wilder was playing into his hands. Dog, they gave 6 fouls to give. I plan to take all of them. Pope Victor Foss is the next best heavyweight. Can George Foreman come out of retirement? What do you think about Fury saying his brother got to change his name if he loses to Jake Paul? I think Fury is on point. You can't lose to Jake Paul, man. That's not even like a fight that I would be interested in, but I understand that people would pay to see it. Wilder was just looking for that one punch as Fury was killing his face. Look him up, Polk. He's in the Ukraine. How big is he? I'm not big on Eastern European guys, man. I'm not big on the Eastern European fighters. What's his measurables looking like? He a big boy? That was a hell of a fight, though. So I just want to come on here, man, give my opinions, and figured like I like to say, win, lose, or draw, man. I'm gonna come on here and let y'all know what it's about. And am I disappointed? Yes, but I think boxing won tonight. And I think Wilder put it all on the line. He's 6'5". Okay. I think Wilder put it all on the line there, man. So as far as I'm concerned, ain't nothing to be ashamed about tonight. Wilder was in there, man. He was in there. He was in there, and he was giving it everything he had, as far as I'm concerned. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna head out. I'll catch y'all later. I'll catch y'all. What's up, Lorenzo? I'm gonna catch y'all later, man. It's your boy Poke on H637 TV. Disappointed, but hey, the Knowles won, so we good there. And hey, let's get it. Our David says, so right now, regardless of class, who's the biggest draw? Canelo's still the biggest draw in the business. But all right, y'all, man. I'm going to holler at y'all boys. Y'all have a good night. It's still Bomb Squad, baby. I'll holler at y'all.